Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 17. It is day 4. Super earnings out today for April 27th, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only, to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Jedi traders, good to see you. Let's scroll right into the charts. Take a look at a big picture today as we see here on the volume profile. Huge sweep up, lots of single prints up there. Little concern as we reach some all-time highs there on the NQ futures. Some point, volume profile will come and repair that. Single prints, especially that extended high up. Be aware that while ticks are ticks and nice run up here, market action will eventually build some value at some point at the given future, whether that is tomorrow, next week, or down the road. ES, different story here today. Nice volume profile, single prints downside up, 70% of today's range inside. So NQ, totally different picture today. NQ really the index that just pretty much took off, divergent from the other two in the AM session, and pretty much with super earnings out today, almost like a Super Tuesday rally. Happened to be on a Thursday with the big numbers out today: Microsoft, Starbucks, Google, Amazon, Intel, GoPro, to name a few. Markets took advantage of that and the way up in the PM session. So as we sit here, NQ, another all-time high this week. That's 3. Count them, 1, 2, and 3 upside here, 55.99. All-time high up here with serious open gaps down below that eventually market will need to come and correct. The higher we go, the harder we fall. So we have daily gaps all the way down, and at some point, I am concerned. But right now, trend is upside. You watch the charts, leave your bias at the door when trading as I conclude each day, and you should be all right. ES and YM, a whole different picture today as we see the sideways price action here within somewhat of yesterday's range and the previous day, again with those open gaps as we all hold up upside above the prospective weekly opens. AD lines, on the other hand, there was the move this morning. Had me a little concerned on the NQ, even though the move had started pretty much 2.5 hours before the market opened. Sitting here on the West Coast, it wasn't exactly in my waking hours to be up that early and take that move. So as soon as market action got a small kick up, we were already at the outliers, and we never revisited any higher with a little bit of a boost there a little bit later, but market action pretty much stalled out, and here we could see AD line coming down with price action going up. Just doesn't come together. So we'll see how this plays out on the Globex and leading into tomorrow's session as we roll into tomorrow. All right, so the rest of the market, you can see ES and YM, nothing much to speak of. All right, let's take a look at the daily pick. This is how we ended off the NQ here today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, how we started the day. So there we are. MML reset on the charts upside today here on the smaller time frames. 55.47 up here this morning. 55.47. We were looking at resistance as we hold up above on the weekly VWAP. So that 55.47 became major support resistance. Again, you take a look at the chart here. It's the resistance, but as price pushes up, so do those MMLs reset. And that's exactly what we got up here. We got 55.47 now, the major support resistance, and 56.25. On the other hand, the pre-market 10-minute chart, which gave you a realm for those first setups, you take this chart, you overlay it on the range chart that we'll see here in a moment, and you got yourself a super trading strategy. However, whether you got in at the pullback on the Globex high or whether you had the opportunity to be on the trend already earlier, that was all a matter of timing today. All right, so this morning, 10-minute chart, here we are, 56.75 upstairs, 55.37. You're looking in both directions, and how do we play it out today? Well, let's take a look here. 10-minute NQ, ooh-la, 55.86. So we pushed that 66, 76, and we got ourselves a new upper level here on the 10 minutes. So bigger time frame as we head into tomorrow, depending on what happens in Globex. Here we could see downside 55, 66, 47 as we roll into the overnight session. You want to be aware of the NQ on a smaller time frame, the 1 minute chart here, 56.05 upstairs to 55.66. But the bigger picture again, leading into tomorrow, again, we'll look at that in the AM session after the Globex move, downside 66.47, especially those open gaps below. As we take a look at the bigger chart on the NQ, still holding upside, 56.25 is the upside resistance. As we said on that technical momentum outlook for the week, over the weekend, looking for price action to push above that 10 period moving average. And 50 as well, and seems to be doing as well. NQ charts, highlights of the day. Again, NQ, as you see the overlay, what I'm talking about, that MML off a 5-minute chart together with the range charts. Here we are. When I mentioned the price action move had already started, it was right back here. Got all the charts in sync, and if you forget what we're looking for the high probability setup where whether it's the short or the long, price action underneath the HA bars. Here we are, obviously downside, everything in sync. That's exactly what we're looking for. And here we see it to the opposite direction. Price action again above the 51.44, throwing a T35. Ooh, look at that, a moving average we haven't seen in a while, or any variety of moving average. 534 is exactly what the second bar here is. So bring in the T35 with a little bit more of smooth moving average to it. Not looking for the crossover necessary, just looking for price action above the cloud. You have both the slopes here in sync. You got a long signal, and that was around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's the pullback, price action, second pullback here, and that was the challenging part here to today's price action, is that this was the Globex high right here, and you got yourself an MML high sitting here at 55. 56, and you're just a little bit hesitant, and I can understand that, and that probably was the best reaction in the AM, is to have sat that out. All right, so other charts at NQ as we finish out the full session. Here we are, price action on the 10 tick. There was that hesitation as the major support resistance downside. Here was our opening price closing up at the highs here. Major support resistance, again, we mentioned that the MMLs ended up resetting themselves. So, again, you're getting a lot of choppy noise. Always the option to go to the 15-tick chart, which is the higher range chart. And so there's your full session on the NQ from the lows to the highs. Throw in the 534, and you got yourself a simple trading strategy. I know throwing a Globex high or any other level for that matters, but early move, price action, there it is on the 15-tick. Again, you got to throw that Globex high in there, typically a point of resistance. But once it broke through in a pullback, here was your PM session setup. But you could see here, this is about 3-4 hours of movement here that didn't go much. So mid-session, that was your end move on the NQ to the upside as price action lifted there at the end. All right, that's our NQ. Let's jump in to the ES here as we take a look at the charts on the ES. Let's take a look at the 60 and the 4-hour here. Price action again gaining up a lot of chop here. Not really being able to pull up higher, but it was today's price action on the 60-minute looking to upside 23.90. Still that open gap down below as we saw there on the open gaps. Let's jump right into the 60-minute pre-market. We were already holding up here on the 60-minute upside 55.47. I apologize. That's our NQ. There's our ES. Again, major support resistance, 23.90.75. Nowhere to be found now. 23.90.75 now there at major support resistance. It was up there at resistance, so price action held down, which brought our MML levels lower as we held above the weekly VWAP starting today's market session. All right, ES here on a 10-minute. There we are. Price action 23.86.75. We were looking upside. Let's take a look at the charts. Take a look at the ES on the 10-minute. There we are, upside, 23.86.75 resistance, which was major support prior. So we could see price action did exactly help us along today. So How did we do on the ES here today? ES session mid-close. It was a nice move down from the MML highs to the lows. So we got the dip down to the MML lows and then a 10 rip up handle from the rip from the lows upside to the overbought. And that was about it for the ES as we held here. The ES today, 23.8875 was the high of the day. All right, so ES full session. Nice move from the down to the up. Open, close, pretty much a flat session, but very impressive in the market open AM session. PM session can't speak much of. So one move down and the rip back up the upside above the cloud, above the VWAP, above the 34 MA for a nice move in the prior to the PM session. All right, so how are we doing overall on the big picture on the ES? Let's take a look at the daily ES holding up again above the 10 and the 50 as we head into the PM session. Let's watch the ES here. Watch 23.8675 first resistance, downside 84.75, 82.75. And the overall big picture heading into tomorrow again on the ES. We want to watch downside 82 and 79. Again, we'll reassess that in the AM session. YM full session here today. There she is. Price action again. Opening price, closing. So YM finishing downside. ES pretty much flat and NQ up. Talk about divergence as we close out the month. So there it is. Price action upside, downside, and back upside as we had an MML reset here today. Just a quick look here. Let's take a look at the over at big picture YM. Here it is, major support resistance held 29.38 today as we hold out at the MML low. So looking at the Murray levels heading into overnight, watch price action 918 upside all the way up to 938, or we just hold down at the lower levels here on the YM. Other charts to speak of today, 6E, amazing nice move here as we saw pre-market or actually open regular trading hours here after the Globex session. Nice move on the 6E down here, 534 in sync, 51.44, not yet there, but underneath the cloud. Here we could see the T35 gets a slope up, back down underneath the cloud. Nice smooth trend on the 6E. Unfortunately, I caught that too late and decided to hold off from the move to the downside. All right, as far as charts are concerned, again, make sure for the Globex session, you go to the charts. Take, for example, the NQ. You drop yourself down to a 5.4 for overnight trends. Make sure your MML setting is, again, on a 1-minute chart. Give yourself a small range. Again, here we could see NQ still got a ways to go for the PM session to open, or Globex 56.05 down to 55.66. And on the trend chart, there you go. There's your trends for the overnight session, already starting somewhat to the downside. We'll watch to see how the follow through. So whatever index you might be watching, again, get down to that smaller time frame. All right, Jedi traders, as we head into the Globex session, be aware tomorrow, ending off the week, we got GDP there. A couple of Green Star events as we roll out the week, and we head into May coming up. Thought that April month was going to be a bullish. Well, the NQ surely proved that as the ES and YM are trailing back upside to their all-time highs. We'll see how we finish out the week. All right, that concludes an insight into the daily trend and key futures markets as they see them every day. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com. Check out my pre-market trend with its levels, MML picks from the overnight Globex session each morning. If you want more information, check out any of the links at the top here at tradingfibs.com. You can always find me on StockTwits here, posting intraday charts and my retweets of anything important on Twitter here at Trading Fibs. One simple strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame, as you can see here, that is the key strategy. Throw in a little bit of an MML, high probability setup, and you have yourself some levels there either to bounce off or watch for the reset and look for some lower levels as well. You can find me every day on Twitter here, and as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I'm only trading what's in front of me and on my charts. If those of you are interested in joining us with our like-minded traders in our community, seeking those highest probability setups, feel free to email me, David at Trading Fibs. You may join us any Thursday or Friday live as we watch the charts as they set up in the trading day. Also, a shout out for my most recent video. If you're interested in a tutorial on the Murray math levels and Heikin Ashi bars, check out my YouTube channel. You can check out the 30-minute video here that I go through step by step in setting up. Though that study might not be available on your trading platform, it is available on the Sierra charts. Feel free to check that out on my YouTube channel. Hey guys, as we roll out the month of April, have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Again, if I've forgotten to cover anything, always email me with your questions or join us here in the room. Have yourselves a good night and a good day tomorrow. Good trading to ya, and have a good evening. And if I've covered it all or missed it all, I'm sure I'll get back at you tomorrow. Good night to you all. Peace out.